Hello and welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I am Nerdarchist Ted, and tonight we're going to play some Zoo Mafia. That's right, we're on episode 10 of my Zoo Mafia campaign within Furton City. I'm your Zookeeper, your GM, call it whatever you will. We're doing things a little bit differently with this particular campaign as opposed to being zoo animals during the day and, criminals at night. We're in a full, like, Zootopia style city, and we've kind of broke the typical tradition of how this campaign is going. There's nine whole episodes to kind of catch up on if this is your first one, and I am not going to wrap them all up, so you'll have to jump back and watch them all to see what's there. Last episode we had some fun. We got to kind of deal with the fallout of realizing that the Alley Cats actually had three lieutenants, not the two that they were really expecting. Um, we had a visitor from Carlo Hambino's Mafia to kind of nudge in on what our little cadre is up to. So they've got some things to figure out, some things to consider. So without further ado, I'll toss it over to our wondrous players and say, what are you up to?
Ooh, I think after quite an exciting ride with Rosa, reconnecting with everybody, I think yeah, they still owe me a lot of tequila, so we're definitely taking shots of that. Rosa's kind of silent right now, kind of drunk, him under the table.
That's valid.
I think it might have gone the other way. I think you've drunk Rosa underneath the table, and Rosa is passed out drunk.
Oh yeah, I might have. Yeah, words, right? Difficulty.
I saw what you were trying to do, and I flipped it so that we could have a reason why our man down is not here, and
Yeah.
it's not here.
He'll be fine. Let him sleep it off there. Somebody find a blanket.
Yeah.
So I'll get a blanket from the closet, and you see that he has several of those old school blankets. They're scratchy and itchy, but you get about a dozen of them in any southern home, and they become a mattress.
Yep.
That is what he has. And so he pulls out probably the itchiest, the most scratchy, and also probably the most gaudy of all of them, and just places it delicately over Rosa.
Nice.
Now, catch me up. Is Rosa still in the drag costume?
Yes.
The drag outfit?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I would imagine you could also throw his poncho or serape or whatever it's called over him as well if you truly wanted.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I do have one question. I have several questions, but first off, I assume we are still in Arthur's apartment.
Yeah.
And is there still a particular item in King Tom's fridge?
Is there what?
Is there still a particular item within Arthur's fridge?
Or
has that been moved?
Unless we gave it to Bunny.
You have not met with Bunny because
Then
you have
it
to,
probably is still there.
you have to finish up the rest of the mission.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I take my tequila bottle, put it next to the head, and say, "Keep an eye on this for me, all right?"
So the head of King Tom, which was fully exploded into pieces off of his body, and caught by Rosa, rests in Arthur or Tumbleweed's fridge.
Can we send it via parcel?
Is that really something you want to trust?
Style?
Is that something you really want to send via parcel?
I mean, I personally wouldn't. Especially if you have to put a return address on it. Like, if lost, please get back here.
I'm sure Ed Fex has had worse.
Fair.
All right, so what are you guys doing? Are you drinking the night away, or is it time to talk mission talk? What are you guys up to?
Should probably go find the other cats.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We should probably at least, like, I know we need a day off, but I think we need to get this mission done for Bunny first. Jonas, do you have any idea about where that third lieutenant is?
Unfortunately, not off the top of my head. I saw them walk in the opposite direction.
But what you did observe was, all of them coming out of the same location. So you have an idea of what you suspect would be their hideout, their hangout. So if nothing
point that
else, you guys could be able to come back there.
I mean, if we're going to strike them while we know where they're at, that's probably a smart move, because they're probably going to try to move out, if I'm being honest. And if we can get them before they actually move, we might be able to nip it in the bud.
Sounds good to me.
All right, so I guess that means our resident driver, you got us a vehicle?
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna have to take it a little nice and slow. I've been drinking a bit, but yeah. We'll be doing this.
Do we maybe want to cause a diversion while we're there, and then somebody sneak in?
We could. Especially since Jonas is our resident sneaker.
Yeah. Alrighty. So, I give the car, while the plan's going on, I make sure the vehicle is not in any messed up shape. Things of that sort. And, I don't know, I take a quick look around because we didn't exactly show up here all quiet like. It went on the rustleness and whatnot. May I do an awareness check just to make sure,
Absolutely.
Oh, Alright, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Oh, that is an absolute crit. So, what is it that you're looking to be aware of?
I am seeing if there's any, as I'm casually looking over the vehicle, making sure things are safe. At the same exact time, I'm looking over street corners, eyes in the skies, things like that might be hanging around a little bit too often, checking out on us, things like that.
So, you do see a familiar vehicle, which I believe last session, or maybe the session before, Rosa had suspected was like an unmarked cop car that is pulling away as you're looking around. But as you look up, you do see, there is a figure. It's not close enough to get any details, but on one of the higher buildings, it takes flight, and it doesn't fly towards you, but doesn't fly away, and you know that it's got to be something that's close, as it flies on an angle downward, heading towards what you can only assume must be a nearby street. So it's either heading to a vehicle that's out there, or flying down to somebody that's at ground level.
Very, very interesting. After I do my safety checks, I circle back with the group and let them know, like, hey, look, we may or may have not been followed.
But you do see that, very much as you look over your vehicle, there doesn't seem to be any tampering, doesn't seem to be any further damage. So all is safe from that front.
Oh.
And you are completely confident of that with that crit.
The eucalyptus mobile is still in service, y'all. So, yeah, I swing back, let them know. Hey, Arthur, guys, everybody, I have good news and I have bad news. Which one you want first?
Well, hit us with the bad news. Go on.
Well, look, there's a chance we might have been tailed back. But, good news, vehicle's in tip-top shape.
I see. I wonder if it would be smart for one of us to stay back here besides Rosa then. If y'all feel confident enough to handle it, I can stay here with Rosa.
I mean,
We might need the muscle, though.
Ah, gotcha.
Do you want me to stay back? And that way, if the police show up, I can pretend like I'm housekeeping?
Well, you're pretty good at talking. Do you think you'd be more valuable at the scene if we need someone to be a distraction, though? Because my idea of a distraction is smashing stuff up.
I mean, that works too, though. If it's the police, though, we're gonna have big problems. There's kind of a head in the fridge.
Ted, can I try to, in theory, determine if my apartment would be secure for us all to leave it for a time? This is kind of my way as a player of metagaming if you want all of us on this mission or not.
I will totally tell you there is no need to make a roll. I don't want one of you sitting out on tonight's things just to make sure that Rosa is safe.
yeah.
Okay. Your characters think there is no reason why anyone would be busting in your door.
Okay.
Rosa can sleep off the drunkenness, and the head will remain safe for now.
Okay. All right. Cool.
The second
Okay, we have that on recording.
The second I heard that, I just heard, FBI, open up!
Right, that's what I was thinking. Oh,
Well, so low-key what I was afraid of was I was afraid that we were going to, go on this mission, and then we were going to find out that, Rosa had been arrested, and the head was in the fridge, and so, they have now figured out at least my location, and they've got Rosa, and they've got our, proof that we got the cats. That was what I was concerned about.
that's
Well,
what I
if,
was
you know,
thinking.
if we end with you guys not in the apartment and Dave can't play next week, there's nothing to say that won't happen. But for now, I want everybody to be able to, to play and take part in tonight's episode.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay. Maybe I need to invest in, I don't know, what do they keep as pets in a world full of animals? Do they have giant bugs or something?
Venus flytraps?
Oh yeah, I'll just get some carnivorous plants. It'll be fine.
You have a safe?
So I'll have to do some world building thinking on, what kind of pets do they have in Furton City?
Smurfs.
Smurfs. All right, so Boomer comes up and tells you it's safe, but yet you might have been followed. So do the four of you decide to head on back downstairs?
Yeah, we need to do this right away, I think. So if we all strike right now tonight, we might be able to just get it all taken care of in one go. What do y'all think?
All right.
Yeah.
Jonas?
As the front door of your apartment building opens up, who is the first of you to step outside?
Probably Arthur.
All right, so as Arthur steps outside, the obvious and first thing that you noticed is a stunning white limousine is parked immediately out front of your building.
Oh.
There
Can I
is
see who's in it?
There is somebody standing out in front, like not in front of, but like to, I guess you would say, to the rear doors. There is a immaculately dressed raven that's standing there,
Oh.
looking expectantly in your direction, or in the direction of the doors, you might say.
Okay. I'll bite. So I will go over and I will just kind of mosey across the street and say, what's good, friend?
Well, you and, well, most, I mean, he doesn't stutter. He
Yeah.
speaks very, very, very eloquently. We were waiting here for a companion of yours.
Oh.
And I imagine the rest of you follow Tumbleweed.
Yes.
Well, who do you want to talk to?
Yeah.
So the Raven kind of looks past Arthur to Boomer. She would like a moment of your time if you would be so kind to have a conversation.
And I inquire as to who belongs to that pronoun you just used.
The window goes down smoothly, and you see brilliant white feathers as the head turns in a 180-degree arc as the owl sitting in the seat looks out at you.
I see.
Why, that would be me. And he and I have some words, for there is some things left undealt with, and I don't like debts.
That's fair. Now, young lady, can I get your word that there will be only words and no sort of rootin', tootin', highfalutin' shooting going on?
I have no need for any of that, unless you and yours decide to escalate things.
All right, that's fine. I ask because I know of the reputation of some of those in your employ. Not to say that you necessarily sully your hands, but, you know, word gets around.
No, I am not Otto.
I respect that, actually. So, and he'll like holler across the street with very little couth. Say, y'all want to go for a ride with Miss Owl?
Sure. Yeah.
So the well-dressed Raven opens the door, and a very lush interior meets your eyes. Everything spotless and clean. There's plenty of space for all of you.
This is
And,
mighty fancy.
To Arthur and Jonas, the sugar, there is a polite nod of the head. Nothing to give you any kind of level of respect, but more like deference to, okay, I'm taking you in, I'm sizing you up. To Boomer, the eyes just kind of narrow a little bit, but there is no nod of the head.
They're right back. Just keep it moving.
So, I am told that you're called Boomer.
Yeah, indeed.
I assume you are aware of why I am here.
Of course! I have no idea why he's here. I say I absolutely do, but I have no idea.
So, you are not aware of the incident at the restaurant?
Oh. Oh. Yeah, I remember.
Oh. That stain did not come clean. And that was one of my favorite jackets.
I apologize. It was in the heat of it all.
And had an apology been issued upon the day of the transgression, perhaps that would have been enough. But instead of being courtly, mannerly, you just fled. You made me spend time and effort attempting to have the jacket cleaned. I spent peanuts paying those in my employ to track you down, to find out who you are, to find out that, quite ironically, you are involved in some of the, shall we say, same business as that I deign to do.
A lot happened that day, man.
I tarry not with inconsequential details. You did an action, and you failed to do what was courteous, and then therefore offered me an insult. Now, I am certain that you don't seem to be the sort to be walking around and gloating over such things.
Absolutely not.
But I and my reputation cannot allow the transgression to go without consequence.
So what are we talking here?
Well, there are several different things that can be done. I could ask your friends to leave, and I could just do away with you, and all would be right as rain. But I don't think that's a situation that you want, nor do I think your friends want it. If you wanted to do it the old way, you or a champion of your stead could do in the old style of the duel until one of you's lifebloods spilled out, and either you or my champion lies dead. I don't think that would get either of us anywhere. Or
Okay.
the final option is you do a job for me.
You know what? Your reputation does carry weight. Real level-headed, a real thinker. You know what I'm saying, man? Let the punishment fit the crime. You don't want names going around saying like, "Nah, you're like Otto." Like, nah, you're reasonable like that. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to right these wrongs. Out of all of the options available for me, I think a job will square things away with us.
Well, that is very much the direction I was expecting you to go.
Why should be like some Fort Knox shit? Like, yo, you gotta do some Mission Impossible nonsense.
If it's Mission Impossible nonsense, you're the one that we are dangling from the ceiling. I just want you to know that.
Right?
Is there wine in the back here? I'm looking.
Oh,
for
there is
wine and
there is
snacks.
sparkling water.
Sparkling water. Okay.
Yeah, the fact that you guys don't work for, you know what? Somebody give me an awareness roll. Put your peepers to work.
I have a 3.
You don't want me to do that.
I have a 3 in
Whoever wants to roll can roll. Whether you're looking to just kind of chime up that XP, or
7,
you're
8,
trying to
9,
find the
10,
information.
11, 12. Baby, 13, baby.
So, typically, in what would be considered business dealings, and this clearly is at this point in time, wine or something of the equivalent would probably be offered, especially for someone of Al Capone's reputation. And the fact that there is only sparkling water, it is meant to deliver a message that you aren't worthy of that.
Drinking anyways.
Because you don't work for her, and the level of insult that has been wrought to her through your just it's no big deal is being returned in kind by not offering what would be the correct beverage for this social occasion.
It's okay. I'm still drinking it.
Well, at least it's not tap water.
Right?
Well,
I'm gonna put my little pinky out too.
she is not uncouth. So, the job, in order for me to feel justified and vindicated in this exchange, I feel we're going to test you and your little groups. I mean, you can do it yourself if you like, but I imagine you'll have a better chance of success if you bring along your group.
Well,
You're going to strike a small blow into Otto's territory, and I'd like you to do a heist on Riverway Trust and Savings. It's not a large bank in Otto's domain, but it's enough to send a message that he's not secure.
yeah, absolutely. I think we can handle that. Right, guys?
Out of character, yeah, bank robbery.
We'll have to discuss it in a group.
Yeah.
So do we
Well-
discuss it now in front of her, or?
Well, I mean, he's accepted, but
I had no choice. I
Right.
was given an offer I can't refuse.
no, I know, but
Yeah,
we'll have
yeah.
to, you know.
As far as Al Capone is concerned, you have said you'll take the job, and she told you what the job is. She is expecting it to be done.
Any particular timeline you're looking at?
Well, sooner rather than later. I want this wrapped up before word gets out any further than it already has. You understand, there are those who witnessed the event and how much of a issue I've had in trying to clean that up.
Well, I understand. But, you know, it'll be settled. We'll square this off. It's better than, you know, doing a barbaric duel to the death. Or, I don't know, putting one slug in between my eye, old Yeller style.
Oh, I would be doing it with my claws.
So, we're gonna need details. Do you want the money brought back to you? Do we keep the money? Do we burn the money?
You will deliver a minimum of 75% of the take to my point person, and she gestures towards the raven that is currently in the driver's seat.
Cool.
Okay, we need a location, name, contact. Where contact.
Vares will give you all of that information
Okay.
once we are settled here that this is going to happen. I think a week's time frame should be sufficient.
Perfect. Great, because you remember how I said there's a lot of things happening, man? Like, it's crazy out there.
Trust me, I am well aware. Probably more so than you think.
Oh, alright, so you know I wasn't just blowing you off. Sometimes things happen.
Sure, but as stated, the time to have offered apologies or reparations or any of that kind of thing would have been the following day or right then and there when the transaction occurred. But there's no sense in belaboring the point. You have agreed upon the job. You have 7 days. If it is not done, then you will be.
Got it.
Is there anywhere that we can take you, or do you wish to be, left off at the apartment where I picked you up?
Look over to the gang.
Well, I think that we need to air out Boomer's car a little bit, seeing as currently it smells like sweaty koala. So we could do.
Wow. Wow.
Well, this was a very nice drive. Thank you.
Yeah.
So she, drops you off where you guys want, gives you a nod as the vehicle comes to a stop. Vares opens the door, and he, basically on a sheet of paper, says, here is the details of where I can be met, where I can be contacted, and it's a local accounting agency, ironically here in Scarborough.
Oh. Okay. Makes it a little bit easier. Alrighty. So, I guess.
Is it the same place we went before?
It is not.
Okay.
Yeah, so Arthur, what you thinking, man? What's everyone thinking?
I'm thinking we still do the cat thing tonight, and that's why I didn't want her driving us, because those are her people, if you remember.
Yeah,
I also think we should make sure we're not being tailed on the way there.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think we need to open the windows because it does smell like sweaty koala up in here.
Look, I get it, man. I do what I can. You know, sometimes in the heat of the driving moment, you don't get a chance to do things as you would like. But hey, it is what it is. As I roll down, windows all over the place.
Jonas, what are you thinking, sir? Seeing as you've been mighty quiet.
Is Robin there? Are you muted?
Oh,
They're asking for your opinion, Jonas.
I'm sorry. I spaced. What's going on?
oh, sorry. I just asked for your opinion regarding the cat situation. I suggested that we do the cat thing tonight and then do Al Capone's thing after.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. We've left this cat thing on the burner for a while. And she just sort of like sweep in out of nowhere.
Sure. So it's only basically been like a handful of lost hours. Not a whole lot of time has progressed over the last couple of sessions. There's just been a lot going on. All right, so you guys make your way over to the location that Jonas, tracked the guy to, the cat.
Mhm.
Are you watching it, or are you guys just kind of like heading on inside?
This is where I think we asked Sugar, what was your idea for a distraction?
I mean, it depends. Are there people out front?
It's fairly late at night, so there are only a handful of people that are coming and going.
Okay. I mean, we got a couple plays here. We can pretend like I have to piss really bad, and I can try to run in and use the bathroom. And I can make a scene. Or... do they know all of us? Probably.
By now, you guys would assume that they know who all of you are.
Okay, so I'm going to try to put a disguise on.
Okay.
So,
I don't think that's a roll for you. I think you can just do that, right?
no, it's a roll.
Okay.
Yeah. So 11, no boss die.
That is a success.
You are
Yeah,
rolling
so it
hot tonight.
says... Okay, gain... Yeah, okay. We're good. So... Yeah, I'm gonna... Do you guys want me to just run in and say I have to use the bathroom?
Okay.
Do we have any tequila?
Can I say I you know what? I have some Molotov making equipment that includes rum.
Okay, hand me it.
There you go.
I'm gonna dump it on myself
Yeah, good Molotovs.
and put some in my mouth and kind of like use it like mouthwash so I really smell like it. Yeah. Okay. All right, I'm ready. So if you want to park like around the corner where they can't see us.
Exactly it.
Okay.
And then the rest
I'm
of us are sneaking him back?
Or even in the front if I can get everybody looking.
Okay.
Yeah. It's gonna be great.
All right. So
Okay.
what is your plan, Sugar? Are you looking to go in and just observe, or are you looking to like sneak in and then be able to like deliver a message or a problem or?
I am going to make a big old scene. I'm going to pretend like I'm wasted and demand for the bathroom.
Okay. So why don't you start spitting? Why don't you see how good of a performance you can get?
That's helpful. 7, 10, and then 4 for boss die.
All right, that's success. So what does this look like as you put on this big drama moment?
I am going to impersonate my favorite drunk person that like flailed their arms like this at the club and stumble and stoop and talk in like a drunken stupor, and go up to the first cat. Like I'm gonna try to push my way in the door and then start screaming that I have to piss and where's the bathroom and that this bar sucks and there's no tequila.
Well, the performance definitely is, causing a scene. And it's not so much a bar, but, a place where they're just kind of hanging out. But you manage to, get inside and, they let you use the restroom.
Oh, they were nice. Okay. I'm going to go in the restroom and then I'm going to come back and start crying.
So one of the smaller cats comes over and, was like, are you okay?
I've just had a little bit too much to drink tonight.
Do you need some water? Do you need someone to help you get home? What's up?
I don't know. I think I'm lost.
Where do you need to get to?
I don't know. I was at a place where you drink and I got lost from my friends and I have no idea where I'm at.
So the cat tells you what street you're on.
Mm-hmm.
While she's doing this, can we sneak in?
Absolutely. Whoever's trying to sneak in, let's commit a caper. Make a sly roll.
All right.
And if I see them, I'm just gonna get louder
Oh,
and maybe faint.
So that
I have
so
one
that-
boss. No.
All right. So that's gonna be a break it up. So normally you would roll your sly, but given the situation, you can roll. With your magnetism. And if you are successful, then you'll give each of them a +1.
Who, me?
Yeah, you make a magnetism roll.
Okay.
And if you're successful, they'll all get a +1 to their sly roll.
It's a base 8, so it's 8 plus 3.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So all of you who are trying to sneak in, you get a +1 to the roll.
I still have my +1 forwards from like 2 and 3 sessions ago. Is that still applicable or no?
It carries over.
Then I have a 14.
So I have also been rolling like hotcakes this game, and I am ending with a 13.
All right.
we is like a shadow.
How is an armadillo on a koala like suddenly like so sneaky?
And I need to actually say I also have the bosses showing good guy and neutral.
So all right. So you got doubles with the ally and neutral.
Yes.
All right. So with doubles, you're gonna get a marker,
Oh,
and you're gonna give everyone a +1 forward.
there you go, baby.
Hey, I'll take it.
Ooh. Is Jonah sneaking in with us?
Yes.
All right. So what do you have on your sly roll?
9.
9. Is that counting the +1 forward from?
Oh,
Sugar?
no, 10.
All right. So that is just a success then. So everybody gets in completely unseen as this sugar glider is crying and making a scene and constantly talking about how lost they are. um, so you see that there's a handful of cats just kind of like lounging around. um, there's some that are just playing cards. They're not straight up gambling. They're just you know playing cards for fun. There are a couple kind of sitting off to the one side that do have what is clearly a flask or some kind of alcohol. um but this appears to be like a nothing more than a small meeting room with a couple doors off of it. um what are you guys doing?
Jonas. Hey, Jonas.
Yes. Yes.
Which one is the last boss?
Do I see them?
You do not see either of the two lieutenants in this room.
Neither of those two. We gotta keep going.
All right. Should we maybe shut these fellas in then?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. We haven't been seen.
Can we stealthily shut and lock the door? Or otherwise, like, jam it? Is that feasible, Ted, or no?
Say again?
Can we
Kinda like cut out a little
can we very sneakily and stealthily shut and lock these guys into this room?
You wanna lock the door you just came through, or do you want to go into the next room?
I guess I'm confused about the layout. So I was thinking this was like a side room we were passing.
No, you go into the first room, and it's a larger meeting room. There are some couches and there's chairs and tables, where they're just kind of like, this is where like your basic, gangers are hanging out. And clearly there are a couple side rooms off of here, as well as the bathroom that Sugar went and used. So like if you're looking for the lieutenants or whatnot, you would imagine that they're going to be in one of these other rooms.
Okay. Is Sugar drawing their attention right now?
Yes. With two of you having crit the roll, everyone in this room is completely locked on all of the nonsense that Sugar is doing.
Okay. Then I'm going to try to sneak through.
All right. Well, I'm not even gonna have you make a further roll your crit, because I couldn't give you anything extra. That's like another. I'll use that as another success forward. So you can, those of you that want to, kind of sneak to, one of the two other rooms here can do so.
Cool.
Are you going to the left, or are you going straight across?
Good adventurers always go left. So I'm going left. So if this were like a movie, you would see Sugar crying in the foreground with all the cats' attention on her, and in the background, this just like boulder or tumbleweed of an armadillo just like rolling across in the background. That's why they call him Tumbleweed.
Yep.
Well, and as I see them pass, I'm gonna faint.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, so you faint, and the cat that's been kind of talking to you, kind of like is kind of patting your face, and calls out, "Hey, get me a blanket, get me water." Like starts rambling off things. Not all of it makes sense, but they're trying to figure out what's wrong with you. The rest of you, as you sneak back to this room. You quietly open the door, and you are led into a small sitting room / office. It's a I say that because like there is like a large couch, but there's also a desk and a couple of chairs, in it. Maybe the couch is designed to, if it's a late night and you don't feel like going home, you've got a place to crash. Uh, but there are two larger chairs kind of, shoehorned in behind this desk, and you see the two larger cats, which Jonas would be able to nudge and say, those are the two that she was following.
I do that.
Um, I check my supplies. Is all of my Molotov? Is 100% of it gone, or how? Do I have a tiddlywink left?
Well, generally those things are like refreshed by the job. Um, so like
So I
it's the
use
start of a session, the start of a job, you're good up.
Okay. Okay.
So as you sneak into the room, um, there's definitely a moment. I gave you the free shot across, but opening a door into a small room is almost impossible to not be aware. Or for the cat to not be aware. So like an ear definitely swivels in your direction. Are you approaching this as a diplomatic situation, or are you guys going full bore on them?
You're muted, Bobby.
So I think we should defer to Jonas on this one.
Yeah.
So Jonas, do we go in stealthily and try to coerce them, or are we going to approach them diplomatically?
Wow, those are both incredibly tame suggestions for this group.
Yeah.
So
Rose is not
That's
here.
because Rose is not
So
here
it-
and Boomer is
So,
out of
yeah.
Molotovs.
All right, you
The-
know what? Let's be nice until we can't be nice anymore.
Okay.
all right. So options: you can intimidate them into joining, you can diplomatically ask them to join, or you can straight up kill them. Which direction are you going with here?
Diplomatically until we can't anymore is my suggestion.
Okay.
So,
All right. So who is
yeah,
starting this conversation off?
Sure. So Arthur will just kind of lean in on his cane. This is almost like a one of those quietly dramatic scenes in the mob movie, right? Where he just like using his cane and like it's kind of like doing that little thump on the carpet as he's walking forward. He's like,
All right,
gentlemen.
so if I think if you're gonna do this, allow me to add a little bit of artistic moment into it.
Yeah, please.
The door opens soundlessly as the three of you have snuck across the whole center chamber where all the grunts are. And you look over, and clearly the two larger cats are in an intense conversation. And you can only speculate that it's like, okay, well, the boss and one of the lieutenants has just been killed within the last day, both gruesomely, and out of nowhere. um, and they're kind of going back and forth. What do we do? How do we handle the situation? And there's maybe even that you hear, the loaded question of like, well, who's in charge now? As you know, you push the door to kind of gather the attention, and you strike the cane upon the floor as their full attention is then drawn to Tumbleweed, Boomer, and Jonas. They turn and look, and you say,
Gentlemen, it's a right pleasure. Once again.
okay. Every time we've seen your group, It has not led to pleasure, but sure. Let's start it there.
May I? And he gestures to one of the seats.
By all means.
Well, thank you kindly. And he'll, mosey into the seat. So, if you recall our very first encounter in that bakery, I did you a service in trying to help you see a better way to go about your business. Because with age comes experience. And a degree of kindness, I like to think, and so I was trying to do you a kindness by sharing my experience. And the fact is, you as young kids, and I don't blame you for this, but you really didn't recognize what was going on, and that's fine, because that happens, right? But, I think we've made our point that maybe it would be good to listen a little bit, since I have a proposal for you that I think you might want to hear.
So, there's definitely a look of nervous apprehension, but they acquiesce, and one of them, Jonas, you would recognize the one that looks to be almost a spitting image of the one that you blasted a hole clear through his head. Just starts
that one out too.
Tapping their claws on the desk, and you're not sure whether it's like a nervous tick or if he's agitated about something, but you can kind of speculate, given how close they looked to each other. They were probably brothers, and his brother was clearly murdered in cold blood. So it's a little bit hard to deal with a pleasant conversation like that. But go on.
So, gentlemen, I recognize that you do have skill and potential. And frankly, you're good at your business at times. And I acknowledge that. And so does the person who hired us. So, I'm sure all of you recognize that ugliness that happened before was part and parcel of the business. But our employer recognizes that you don't want to waste a good thing. And the fact is, all of you are good at your job. And you could, in fact, jointly even, perhaps, be in charge of your crew here, in a capacity helping her out with her affairs, if you're willing. We could have, in all fairness and disclosure, we could have come in here buns a-glazing as we did at the bakery. We chose not to.
Did you say buns a-glazing or guns a-blazing?
Yes, I did. And he intentionally does not answer the question.
Nah, I'm serious. Are we talking about guns or are we talking about pastries?
I think that at this point we've demonstrated that it don't really matter what we're talking about, because one of us has bested the other one pretty soundly.
So the one who's been kind of tapping his claws, you can see that he's clearly restraining himself.
Mm-hmm.
Any of you that want to go ahead and put your peepers to work, maybe there's some more information.
No, that's probably not good. What is it? Is that a 9? That's a 6, isn't it? Is that a 9?
Yes, there are no 9 on these dice.
Okay, so it's 2 6s, so I got doubles, but no bosses.
Okay.
And, okay, that's 12 base minus 1, so 11.
Alright, so that's a success. Boomer, did you roll?
Yeah, 10.
10. Alright, so you both understand. This dude is he's got a war going on in himself. there is literally an aspect of absolute anger and hatred that, his brother has been killed, but he's also terrified with the ease at which you guys have managed to take down, their core leadership. You mercilessly blew up, one of their enforcers inside a bakery without a care in the world. You blew up a table full of people enjoying themselves at a speakeasy, and then blew a hole through the head of one of the lieutenants. 3 sound distinctive actions that were god awful messy, and each time it was just one of you acting.
I had a question. Were the explosions Rosa?
Most of them, yeah.
Two out of those 3 occasions were just Rosa acting. The third was Jonas. So technically, they know there's 5 of you, and only 2 of you have actually done any actions and have done catastrophic damage to the organization.
Was there a pun
So while this
there?
dude absolutely hates you, he is terrified to see what would happen. The fact that there are 3 of you standing in the office.
I love that.
With a shut door behind you, knowing that you probably have enough intelligence to lock the door before any of the people out there could come to their aid. So that is what you've picked up on in this moment.
So, with all due respect, my good sir, if you would like to let bygones be bygones, as it were, and stop living in fear that you're going to be the next pile of ground meat on the sidewalk, then we would like to extend you an offer of employment from Miss Buddy Malone.
So they look at you for a good 10 seconds, and then they turn and look at each other. And if you've ever seen someone who really knows somebody, and they seem to be able to have that conversation with just their eyes, that's kind of what you see here. So over another few seconds, the one who was kind of tapping his claws on the desk, his shoulders slump, and he kind of like turns and looks. He like looks basically to the shelf behind, and in this moment you see that he is acquiescing his position because he knows that if he's going to say something, it's going to go poorly for the group. So the other one that's, sitting there, never really turned away from you guys. Tom always called me the Claw, because he thought I was tough. I'd rather not, put that to the test against what you guys have done so far. Tom and I respected each other, but we weren't what you might call friends. So his loss, not so much. Jasper, Well, that's more his problem. Sorry to see him go, but there's nothing I can do about it now. And the flunky that your flamingo blew up in the bakery, I can let that go too. Is there a contract? Am I working for you guys through Bunny, or like after this is all said and done, are we... I need to know what's the hierarchy. Because working directly for Bunny, that sounds pretty easy peasy. We don't gotta interface. Makes it a lot easier. If we're gonna have to keep going through you, I'll do it, but it's gonna be tough for a little while.
Well, then you should be mighty thrilled, because we are not middle managers. We were simply here to deliver a message and an offer. You work for her. You interact with her people.
Can I ask one question?
Go ahead.
If this was a conversation that was going to happen, why couldn't this be done after Tom? Why'd you have to do Jasper like that?
Well, if I'm being honest, a lot of it stems from the fact that we weren't being taken seriously. And I'm sure you know how that goes in this business.
How did we not take you seriously?
And then he'll recount the interaction that they had, and he'll say, frankly speaking, if we had not also gone for one more, do you really think you'd be in such a position as to listen right now?
Well, I mean, blowing up a table full of people along with the boss, I think sends a clear and dominant message. Yeah. Jinx back there is... He might be out. He might not be able to continue.
And he is welcome to walk away.
Well, I know how these things work. If there is paperwork that needs to be done, I understand that, things tend to get a little hinky with phrasing. But you can take my word that we'll do what she wants. None of us want to, take Tom's place. You can see the resignation, in his voice, and more importantly in his posture. The last couple of days have clearly impacted this guy. And again, even more so if we're not reporting to you. I'm certain that there might be times where we interact and what have you, and just understand that things might be a little colder than they need to, but I'll give you the respect you deserve.
I can appreciate that, and for what it's worth. And he will look at Jinx and say, Or is it Jasper? Which one is the one that we still have here?
Jasper is dead. Jinx is the
Okay.
one standing, and he's kind of like he's got you guys in the peripheral, just in case. And I'll give you this one for free. He is, even though things have kind of settled, there is a part of him that doesn't believe everything that's going on, and he is literally waiting for the action to start.
Okay.
You know, but he's got a side eye out, you know, this side window, you know, and like, sure, he might be looking to, you know, pull the gun that's, you know, holstered on his side, or, you know, dive into you know, combat, but you can see, like, it's not a you know, MMO or Final Fantasy moment where he's sitting there like, all right, I'm gonna do this. He's ready to do it if it happens, but his heart's not gonna be in it.
Okay. Well, Arthur will make eye contact with Jinx and say, for what it's worth, I'm sorry about how things went down with your brother. And
Give me a start spitting on that. Let's see how
Okay.
how receptive he is to your
okay. That's a 9 base, but I really don't think it's appropriate for me to use my ability that lets me use wild instead. So
well.
my
You
magnificence
have a +1 forward from what do you call it? Carlos's crit.
Okay,
Did you
so
add that in already?
I didn't add that. So that ends up being 9, 10, 11.
Okay, well that is a success. So, you know, Bobby, I'm going to give you control here.
Okay.
You are completely successful in delivering the message that you want. So, does he view this with the full, like, heartfelt passion it's meant to do, and restores a little bit of faith in what it is that you guys are trying to do? Or does the compassion that you're looking to do make him realize that he's not cut out for this, or something more? You tell me, you know, what happens in this moment.
Okay, well, since you're giving me the creative license,
Yep.
I think he kind of looks at us, looks at his companion, and it's hitting him kind of that this is the consequences of what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So I envision him actually taking that holstered gun and kind of just like tossing it on the desk and saying, well, none of us joined because we were good guys anyway, right? And then, you know, basically up and leaves. So he's just out.
He is left the life of crime behind.
Basically, yes.
Okay.
The one person that gets a happy ending in this story, if nobody else. Or a bittersweet ending, we'll say that.
Well, it's definitely not a happy ending because his brother was violently murdered.
Right.
But he at least, you know, for the time being, has left the life of crime, because you guys have all done that too, and is out and gonna have to go find another way of making it in this crazy old world.
You should have taken up farming if you didn't want to get shot at.
So I assume the three of you let him pass.
Of course.
So he opens the door to this little office. You know, you hear a little bit of a commotion going on in the room behind. Sugar, as the door to the office opens, and the lieutenant begins making their way to the front entrance. You can see your friends in the room beyond, and at a glance, you can see that they've got the upper hand. They're all kind of sitting and standing there, with confidence, where the person behind the desk kind of has a little bit of their shoulders slumped. What are you doing in this moment? Are you still, fainting? You
No, if I see them, I'll be like, "Oh my gosh, my friends!" and still pretending I'm drunk and run.
so you just kind of like spring up and run to the group.
Well, I mean, I'm still like pretending like I'm intoxicated, and I probably smell like a bottle of rum, but yeah.
All right.
Ah, there they are.
Sacred MVP in the house.
All right, so you kind of like get up and shamble over, and at first they're like looking to kind of get in your way, and then they look to who's in the room, look back to you, and if you've ever seen that that stuff in the movies where someone goes, dawning realization hits the group as what has just happened here, and it's almost comical at the wave of gaping jaws that happens.
I'm gonna turn around and tell them that their kindness saved their lives.
So let's see. Let's give another moment here. Go ahead and start spitting. I know you're good at this. So something crazy might happen.
My base is an 8.
So you have eight on dice.
Yep, and my red's a 4. So yeah.
All right. All right. So, but you've got a +3 in magnetism, and you got a +1 forge. That's a crit.
Yep.
So what happens here is, given what information I've already revealed from the lieutenants, you guys have got a major reputation of being utterly brutal in how you go about business. So when you say, "Oh, the kindness that you gave me has saved your life," every single one of these goons has just acknowledged that because they let this little sugar glider use the bathroom, they are all alive right now. They fully have taken it to heart, and the impacts that might have in the future is kind of crazy.
Hopefully, it's a good impact.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, may I please introduce myself properly to you then, sir? My name is Arthur Tumbleweed McCullough, and Arthur extends a hand across the desk to the cat.
So, I don't got no surname. Most of us are, raised in the alley, as the name Alley Cats goes. I'm Clyde. Boss has always just called me the Claw. I tend to get in the thick of it. I can here, and he puts out a claw to you, shakes your hand. There's he doesn't do the typical tough guy thing of I'm going to try and squeeze your hand, but he doesn't do the disrespectful thing and just offer the hand and not give the proper hand, the proper handshake as some might do. You can tell that there's still a level of respect, even in defeat.
Mm-hmm.
So there is more layers to this tough guy here. He's not just some thug. He's not an enforcer. Like this is a lieutenant. This is someone who's capable of, thinking at the time when the plan goes to shit. This is somebody who's entrusted with power if, something were to happen. And out of, four people in charge, two of them are dead, one of them has left the organization. That leaves things to him. And you see, like, in this moment that while the two of you will never be fast friends, in order for the alley cats to really be able to rise, they're going to need more leadership and more guidance, even if it's not directly from you guys. That's information that you think Bunny is going to need in order to properly use this group. Like, they've got numbers that you guys don't, but they're also not as brutal, not as efficient, and right now seriously lacking in the capable thinkers.
Good to know. So, Jonas?
Anybody have a
sugar? Sorry, you go ahead.
No, does anybody have a wet wipe? I'm sticky.
I don't think wet wipes would exist.
Oh. I need to clean myself up.
Weren't you just in the bathroom, darling?
No, I have rum on me.
Right, but don't you know where the bathroom's at?
Oh, yeah, I came in here to see if you guys needed help.
I mean, if you feel like you have something to contribute, go right ahead.
I'll go clean myself up.
We just made a deal with Clyde here. Clyde the Claw.
Oh, okay. I'll kind of nod to him. I'd shake your hand, but I'm covered in rum. You can probably smell it.
I can, and don't know why you'd waste such good rum in this day and age dumping it on yourself.
Well, the alternative was then we could have just come in guns a-blazing, and that would have been a whole nother matter, and mighty wasteful and mighty unkind, truth be told.
Yeah. The rum was getting used. The rum was getting used either as a diversion out here or through one of your windows.
Alright, well, I guess that was a satisfactory waste then.
Jonas?
Yes.
You got anything to add to Mr. Clyde here?
At this juncture, no.
I would say it's a pleasure dealing business, but unfortunately there's very little pleasure with the interactions that we've had, minus the fact that you were able to have proper discourse this evening. Again, if you wish to address Miss Malone, that her agents can find me here, and I will agree to whatever terms that she's got.
All right, much obliged. And then Arthur will get up and leave unless anybody has anything else they want to do.
I mean, the only thing I have to say to this whole thing is, like, it's all business. Nothing personal.
Well, that's where some people differ. Violence face to face, that can be business. But murder at a distance, I don't think that's just business. And that's always going to be personal.
You'd have gone into farming then. A lot safer.
Well, I'm not saying you're wrong. Not saying that what you didn't have to be done. Just our group does not operate the way that you guys do.
As a sidebar, we're actually a fun-loving group. A lot of goofy shit's happened. But I think it's funny. They think we're some sort of like hardened like Alice monsters and stuff.
I mean, we're not good guys.
Oh, you guys are absolutely in their eyes like you are monsters straight out of Otto's nightmares.
Oh god.
Throwing a lit stick of dynamite in a public shop. Absolutely absurd. Throwing a brazen Maltel cocktail in a speakeasy, killing more than half a dozen people in a violent explosion. Utterly insane. And then, shooting somebody in the head from 100 yards away, while he's walking down the street, completely unobserved by anybody. Just vicious.
Two out of 3 of those things were probably not discussed ahead of time.
None of them were discussed ahead of the time. All of them were, impromptu decisions made in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
But they don't know that. As far as they're concerned, all of them, all of those things were calculated decisions, possibly planned.
Mm-hmm.
You guys could have been observing them from a distance for a while and decided, how can I dismantle this organization?
That's fair.
And looking at it from that perspective, it is 100% what you guys did. In 3 small strokes, you made yourselves a credible threat, took out half of the organization's power base, leadership, and instilled fear in the ranks. That's genius level tactics from their perspective.
We murder hoboed them.
Sure. From the viewer's perspective of us, like, we saw it all unfold. We know that you guys weren't enacting this, but they don't know that. You guys are new on the scene, and out of nowhere, all of this just happened.
Valid. Clyde, I want you to know there is respect to you from me, and I appreciate your professionalism, and I hope that we can be amicable in the future.
It will absolutely be amicable. It will be professional.
And full disclosure, we offer you the same courtesy we just offered Jinx. If you don't feel like you can do this, you are more than welcome to walk away right now.
Yeah. So he stands up, and he's big for a Tom, for a cat. He looks at you and says, "All right, I'm fairly certain that a lot of what's been done has been done by a small number of your group. but I don't think it's fair that I judge all of you with the same situation. And he looks out, over your shoulders at the fact that some of the cats are still like standing jaws agape at the four of you standing there. We're going to be shaken up for a little while. By all reports, you, and he looks to you specifically, Tumbleweed, haven't really done anything to my folk. And you have shown me a decent amount of respect here today. So perhaps maybe you'll come back and can help me look through this organization to find those that would be suited to rise up and support this group so that all of us can help Miss Malone.
Sir, I don't know if you know this or not, but I worked for the banking system for years, and they are nothing if not conniving, vicious, and hella good at management. I will do that for you.
Yes? All right. So is there anything else that anyone wants to say to Clyde? All right. So we're able to kind of allow these guys to commiserate it. The loss of theirs as you guys kind of head out in your success. You've got, somewhere in the neighborhood of a few dozen cats, hopefully some of them willing to kind of step up and rise into more prominent roles within the Alley Cats. One more organization to join Bunny Malone's ranks. We'll figure out exactly what the conversation looks like as we next time we'll come and meet. We'll have a sit down with the group of you and Bunny Malone as you've managed to complete her necessary requirements to properly join the organization. And maybe we'll do a little bit of a bank heist as well. So jump down the description below where you can find links to all of these wonderful people when they're not here at Nerdarchy. You can also find a link to the Kickstarter follow page, so when we eventually release the rule set for this wonderful game, Zoo Mafia. As well as every Saturday, you can head over to nerdarchy.com, where we're ever expanding the rule set and content that you can add to your table. And nerdarchy.com is also where you can find the quick start rules for this game so that you can begin playing today. And